Hi there, I'm Sheena Wiley with DragonConTV, and I have two special guests here with me, Marla and John from the Georgia Philharmonic Orchestra. Thanks for being with us, guys.
A pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. So you look a bit different now, out of costume. You were Darth Maul earlier.
Well, you know, it was kind of a shock when I was told I had to shave my head for this role, but it was kind of a new experience to have them gluing horns on my head and spray painting me, and so it took a little getting used to, but it was a lot of fun.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we enjoyed your costume and your cosplay. You fit right in here at DragonCon.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now, you are the conductor for the Georgia Philharmonic Orchestra, correct?
That's correct.
So how long have you been conducting with them?
Well, since 2011, and I began conducting when I was at Tanglewood. I was met Leonard Bernstein. I was playing under him, and he kind of changed my idea about how a conductor works and how they relate to musicians. And it looked like so much fun that I kind of got the bug.
Yeah.
And then later I conducted at Sandpoint with Gunther Schuller and the Seattle Symphony, and took over the Atlanta Community Orchestra and was kind of recruited to begin to conduct the Philharmonic. And it's a perfect match. You know, you have a group of dedicated volunteers with some semi-pros thrown in who have their hearts in the right place and are willing to give away lots of Monday nights, which a lot of people aren't willing to do these days. Music educators and you know, just committed human beings, and we've grown our volunteerism to the point where we have people, you know, driving trucks and doing all kinds of things for us. At the beginning, we had none of this, so I'm very thankful for the group of people that I work for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you're the event coordinator, right?
Yes.
For the Georgia Philharmonic Orchestra. So what do you do? I imagine you set things like this up so that we can enjoy their wonderful music.
That's right. Just a couple things. Well, I work with the people here at DragonCon, and we end up putting a bunch of scores together and figuring out what would people want to hear. And so between the fan base and the musical director, who is able to help pick out and create a show, and I just do the small things like put together lists of people coming in and coming out, and run the back and forth with the stage management, things like that. So yeah, I also got to do something really special with a composer for one of the pieces that we played tonight.
Oh, nice.
So that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what was that something special?
So we had a piece, Buffy, that we played from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And this was one of those pieces that there's a lot of rock at the beginning of the show. And there's the last episode of the last season of it's the very last piece of music ever played on Buffy. And the composer, Robert Duncan, was kind enough to actually write the music for the Georgia Philharmonic to play for us tonight.
That's so awesome.
And so this was the first live premiere showing of that music. So it was chosen from Buffy the Vampire Slayer by Robert Duncan.
Okay.
So, yeah,
That's
it was
so
incredible.
Awesome.
So
how did that even come about?
Oh, that's a funny story. So literally just started looking on the internet and got his website. And I was like, this isn't going to work. He's never going to reach back out to me. So I started typing, and a week later, I ended up getting a response. And he said, I would be happy to write the music out for you guys. Let me see if I can get it done. And he ended up writing the whole entire thing out and sent it to us within 2 weeks. And then we had it, and we were able to practice it for 2 weeks before bringing it and showing it here at DragonCon. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, the fact that we asked him to come be a guest for us tonight, and unfortunately he has shows that he is actually broadcasting and live right now on TV, so he couldn't get away. Yeah. But he was super excited, so
we got an original for DragonCon this year, an original piece.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yep.
You guys should appreciate that. Well, speaking about the music from tonight, how do you guys choose what you want to play?
Well, I think a lot of it's dictated by the appetite of the people who come to DragonCon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's at first you have to kind of get your head into, as a classical conductor, many times, you know, you're doing Tchaikovsky and you're doing kind of high-minded stuff, but there's a lot of substantive music written these days for a variety of genres of entertainment.
Yeah.
And Buffy's a great example where you hear a great deal of what he does is later imitated by people like Zimmer.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many gestures and things that he does. I really enjoyed teaching the orchestra that piece, but a lot of the other pieces that we do are film related, TV show related, and I, for one, am a person who've always enjoyed that kind of music, so I like to see if I can get them to commit in the same way as they would with the highbrow stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and we find that because of its accessibility, that has an emotional element that many times when you're caught up in playing too many sixteenths, you don't necessarily get there, you know?
Yeah.
So it feeds us. It's fun for us to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music too, it's one of those things where you have a movie and there's all this great music inside the movie. And when you take some of these clips, put them together, you can create this beautiful suite. So like with Harry Potter, for example, we had a bunch of the orchestra yelling hoo ha, and then we also had parts where they were doing the waltz. So we were able to take all these beautiful different moments and play this suite so that everyone can enjoy it. So pieces like that where we can actually incorporate the whole movie so you get a feel of Harry Potter or of, you know, of 2 years ago, Jurassic Park. That's kind of, we want to be able to experience almost those feelings you felt when you watched those movies for the first time.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to be able to portray that. And so many people don't get to hear orchestras.
Yeah.
And this is something so special that we get to do and share with the community and here with DragonCon, with all of you. And it's really exciting. So that's how we pick what we play, and we hope that projects.
If you think about the length of these film scores, they're too long to have several of them played here at DragonCon. So it takes a really good arranger and a person who doesn't change the music too much, so you understand the harmonic language remains similar and you remember it from the movie, but be able to kind of give that those snapshots and to choose those, and there's so many. You know, in a composer like John Williams, who is so diverse in his musical offerings, he has so many different kinds of melodies that we all identify with, from Raiders to Harry Potter to Schindler's List. There's so numerous, we can't count them all. Zimmer as well. But those types of things are American opera. It's really what our culture knows best. When I was playing in Europe on the street corner, I could play Vivaldi and people would recognize it, because it's their music. But I think a lot of what we've grown up with is the composers that come into our movie theaters, our living rooms, and that, you know, we identify with. So it's fun to see people respond so favorably. It's not normal for classical musicians to get screamed at or someone say, you know, we love you, Darth Maul, and I can blow them a kiss, you know, because it's important to feed the musicians as well. Musicians these days spend a lot of time isolated, and you know, in a stage situation, you don't get that kind of enthusiastic response. When people go nuts, it's kind of fun. You know, I have to admit.
Do you two have a favorite piece from tonight?
Yes, I loved Avengers. It's just a booming piece.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun. I think also the other reason it was so much fun is because people were shaking in their chair. And there were people in the background like jumping up and down. So it's stuff that John didn't get to see because he was conducting. But being able to see people just having fun, that was probably the best piece because of that. Yes.
For me, it was Buffy. I mean, it was just, it was because there was an opportunity for kind of an outpouring. It had this kind of sadness to it, but at the same time, you could feel everybody's heart was kind of open as we listened to it, as the phrasing is so gentle and slow, and these gestures are so deliberate. you know, and then with the little da 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 da, it's kind of fun too. So I like Buffy because I think it was fresh.
Yeah.
And some of the sometimes when we play arrangements, we don't have time or the expense to maybe get a John Williams arrangement, so it's not the same quality as this composer was.
Yeah.
And this was just a singular experience I'll always remember. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was gonna say that's true. Robert Duncan. I mean, he's actually just he's an Emmy Award winner, and he knew what DragonCon was and was so excited to have it played here. So that was super special.
Well, thank you guys so much. It was such a pleasure to have you all here and to listen to the wonderful, beautiful music that you guys brought.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.